The first segment of 50 Cent's exclusive documentary was recently released on TI, and the material is startling. It might permanently ruin T.I.'s career because it is so shocking. The rapper's response was really insane. According to reports, T is inconsolable, sobbing, and pleading with 50 Cent to remove it before the harm is irreparable. We go into great detail on T.I.'s response, what was disclosed in the documentary, and why the music industry is talking about this leak more than ever in this video. Prepare to learn the whole tale behind one of hip-hop drama's most dramatic scenes. We must return to the beginning of this in order to comprehend where we are now. And Vers was the first. T.I. made the decision to enter the ring with 50 Cent during the pandemic, when versus fights were the hottest thing in music and everyone was cooped up in the house watching legends go hit for hit. When T.I. repeatedly called out 50 for combat during the COVID-19 outbreak, the groundwork for this feud was established. However, Tip was ignored by the gun-it magnate, who mocked his demands. In addition to wishing 50 Cent a happy 45th birthday on Instagram, T used the occasion to challenge him to a fight, adding, "Pull your ass up with 20 of your records, man. Man, sit across from me," T continued. He also made fun of Kanye West's Graduation in Curtis, which outsold 50 during their well-known chart battle in 2007. The initial shot was that 50 Cent refused to fall for the ruse. 50 Cent rejected the notion of doing versus in 2021, arguing that it was illogical given that the platform was really only for the pandemic. He told the Morning Hustle that he didn't understand why anyone continued to do it once they were allowed to return outdoors. Or so everyone believed. 5 years passed. Nas, no conflict. Although it was silent, there was tension. Then, in February 2026, T.I. began to make headlines once more. The rapper from Atlanta intensified his challenge to 50. On Friday, February 6th, Shannon Sharpe and Chad Okosinko Johnson hosted a live nightcap episode of the podcast in San Francisco. This is when things start to get interesting. T explained to Shannon and Chad how he saw the entire Verzu incident. He claimed that when the matchup with Jeezy took place instead of Gucci Mane, he changed his focus to 50. In the episode, Tip revealed that he mentioned 50 as his ideal opponent when discussing Versus with Swiss Beats. "I expressed my desire for 50, but he doesn't want any smoke. I confronted my man. He is not interested in smoke. He dodged the smoke." That video went viral. In a matter of hours, it was all over social media. And 50 Cent saw it right away. The $1 Million Worth of Game podcast appearance followed. In a $1 Million Game, T proposed that the two had decided on a Verzu war, with the goal being that Tip would break the news. T claims that the idea was for him to make a public announcement. However, 50 played dumb when he did. On February 22nd, T entered the $1 Million Game and alleged that while the two were touring Hollywood securing TV and movie agreements, Tip said that 50 appeared interested behind closed doors and in taking part in a Verzu, but spoke a different tune on social media. According to T.I., that's when everything started to go wrong. Here's where 50 Cent reacted in typical 50 Cent manner. He didn't dispute the Verzus. He didn't accuse T of lying. Rather, he went somewhere completely else. In response to T.I.'s challenge, 50 Cent uploaded a video of his Crime Stoppers Atlanta commercial via Instagram, suggesting that Tip is a spy. "I know Atlanta pick and choose who they support, but y'all got to do better. LOL. Keep my name out of your mouth," was the caption. The Versus was not addressed by 50 Cent. He chose to focus on T.I.'s character instead of the music discussion. The leader of Gun It further implied that T.I. is a snitch by sharing a video of him testifying in 2008, 2 years after his buddy and aide Philant Johnson was shot and killed following a nerve-wracking concert in Cincinnati. It was evident from T.I.'s online response that this was no longer merely a Verzu disagreement. "You play on my name when only one of us is a rat in real life. You know I got your paperwork right and my transcript is available online. Your excuses are useless," T stated in response. "It changed everything. Yusuf's son, you've lost my respect. Get your hoe ass in the box or STFU and live in fear." The question of who had the superior catalog was no longer relevant. This was personal, and it was going to grow much worse since 50 Cent was going to involve T.I.'s family. This brawl escalated from a quarrel over music to a personal conflict as both parties began accusing each other of snitching. Additionally, 50 Cent took the initial step to include relatives. A fresh feud between 50 and Tip's son, King Harris, began as a result of 50 Cent and T.I.'s social back and forth. King trolled 50 when the mogul posted a contentious picture of T.I.'s wife, Tiny Harris, bringing up the mogul's late mother, Sabrina Jackson. 50 cautioned T to keep his name out of his mouth in the caption of an ugly Instagram photo of Tiny Harris performing. In an apparent response, 50 Cent shared an unfavorable photo of T.I.'s wife with the remark, "I keep saying, keep my name out of your mouth." All right. King Harris, a 21-year-old son of Tiny who has been well known since childhood due to his parents' reality show, became enraged when he saw 50 Cent attacking his mother. King Harris took to Instagram to defend his mother, pointing out 50's previous beefs, the aftermath of his 2000 shooting, prior accusations of domestic violence, and more. King then crossed a line that even his own father would later claim went too far. King went live with a profanity-filled tirade against 50 Cent's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, who passed away when the rapper was just 8 years old. Later, King wore a t-shirt with Sabrina Jackson's face on it, a move that even T.I. acknowledged went too far. The t-shirt was the moment. King Harris filmed content wearing a shirt with 50 Cent's late mother's face on it and posted it on social media for the world to see. Now, while all of this was taking place on social media, T and his sons were also making moves in the studio. The highly publicized back and forth between the two rappers took over timelines in February when the Harris family, T and his sons Demony and King, released a number of diss tracks directed at 50. T dropped the right one first, calling 50 a 5-0 dispatcher, essentially branding him a snitch and clowning him as a keyboard warrior who's tough online but not in real life. Rapping-wise, this has been a completely one-sided feud. King Harris also released his own diss track, Made Man, in which he went after 50 Cent. Demony Harris, T.I.'s other son, also released a diss track. As a result, throughout February, 50 Cent was the target of multiple diss tracks from the three of them. While 50 Cent has methodically removed Instagram posts mentioning T.I. and King Harris from his account over the past few days, King Harris's biggest escalation was not a diss track, but rather paperwork. King Harris posted what he claimed to be FBI documents. T.I. has been relentless in stacking 50's diss tracks, while 50 has chosen social media fodder and trolling instead of going to the booth. He was not going to the studio. Rapper Curtis 50 Cent Jackson allegedly cooperated with federal investigators in the 2009 investigation of the murder of Lel M. Fletcher, according to alleged FBI documents that King Harris shared on social media. The documents, dated October 12, 2009, include what appears to be an FBI interview report that claims Jackson told agents he feared for his life. James "Jimmy" henchman Roseman was implicated. According to the documents that King Harris shared, Curtis 50 Cent, Jackson confirmed that he was the one who placed the anonymous tip and that he was afraid for his life after Lel Mac Fletcher's death. King posted this with the caption, "I got 21 questions, but just answer this one. So, do you know who Lel M was? Is this who called my pops a rat with no black and white?" He continued. "All right, sir, this is yours." That post was widely shared. It went viral on all platforms, completely appending the snitch narrative. 50 Cent had accused T.I. of being a snitch, and now King Harris was presenting documents that purportedly showed 50 Cent had collaborated with the federal government. Whether or not those documents are validated, the fact that they were in the public eye was enough to cause harm. At this point, a father-son feud began to escalate beyond their control, turning from a versus argument to a full-fledged family conflict that was taking over the internet. After T.I. released 4 diss tracks, King and Demony released their own. King posted FBI documents, and he wore a t-shirt featuring 50 Cent's deceased mother. The situation got out of control. At that point, T.I. made his first public statement in the wake of his ongoing feud with 50 Cent. Following his criticism of his wife, Tiny Harris, and son, King, the rapper from Indo Club sat down on the Ebro Laura Rosenberg show and, for the first time, offered his complete perspective on what had been going on. When the host asked him directly if he liked his sons getting involved, T responded with a straightforward, "No, I don't enjoy it," saying, "I spent so much time trying to get this lil N off the ledge. He now has legitimate ways to reverse everything I've been teaching." T.I.'s comment is quite telling. He worked for years to instill a particular kind of character in King Harris and to keep him out of trouble. And King had an excuse to discard all of that because of this beef. T realized that. However, T was not going to deny what his boys had done. He knew why they did it. The fact that the women and kids in our homes perceive it as a queue of guys who are here against whoever the _ is the one thing about which I am proud. I'm here to protect. I'm here to defend what belongs to us. This _ here is the reason I perish on the streets. I was negotiating that duality. He is pleased that his son defended their mother. The extent of its progress does not make him proud. Additionally, T did not hesitate when the hosts asked him directly, "When did it go too far?" T gestured straight at the footage of King donning a blouse bearing the name of his late mother from the 1950s. The rapper from Atlanta stated it was T.I.'s phrase when I responded, "That's enough," when I saw that T-shirt. Things crossed a line when Sabrina Jackson's visage appeared on the T-shirt. When I saw that terrible T-shirt, I said, "Man, chill out. I'm big on treating people the way I want to be treated." At about the same time, T.I. also made a statement in an interview with TMZ. "That was so last week, man. All I can say is that it's very regrettable, but to be honest, I wasn't here to lose. I was here to protect. The fact that my family's women and kids are aware that there is a queue of men prepared to stand up and defend against anything makes me glad." He also talked about the larger picture of the issue and, in the end, all of the silence we're seeing from him at the moment. If that silence had been practiced from the start, what may have happened? Nothing at all. Without it, we wouldn't be here. That's a point worth considering. According to T, none of this would have occurred if 50 Cent had simply disregarded the Versus rhetoric the way he did for years. 50 Cent decided to share the Crime Stoppers video instead. He decided to refer to T as a snitch. He decided to share the picture of Tiny. And that started a series of events that included sons, disrecordings, FBI records, and mothers who had passed away. However, 50 Cent was getting ready to do something that would elevate things to a whole new level while T.I. was discussing the beef slowing down. Memes and trash music served as a warm-up. The nuclear option, which had nothing to do with music, was what followed. 50 Cent took a step on March 5, 2026, that completely altered the nature of this feud. He transformed it from Instagram and diss tracks into something much more harmful and long-lasting. On Thursday, March 5th, Fif posted a screenshot of a news story that stated that 50 Cent was allegedly creating a surviving T.I. and Tiny documentary in an Instagram post that has since been removed. This seemed to substantiate the report. The caption was computed. "Remember how quiet I got before the Diddy doc? Dame thought I wasn't coming. I hope this doesn't mess up your promo tour. They're going to ask about your 20 sexual assault cases," he tweeted. Let that sink in. 50 Cent did not simply threaten to make a documentary. He compared it to the Diddy documentary, which is not lost on anyone who pays attention to what 50 Cent has done in the entertainment industry lately. The reference to the Diddy doc is significant because 50 Cent executive produced a Netflix documentary series on Sean Combs that aired in late 2025, a project that many in the hip-hop community credit with accelerating Diddy's public demise. The implication is clear. 50 is saying he has done this before and is ready to do it again. The Netflix documentary series Sean Combs, The Reckoning, which examined Diddy's alleged sexual assault, was a huge cultural hit, and 50 Cent was its executive producer. As a result, when he claims he knows how to do this, he has proof. According to insiders, 50 is currently working on a documentary that is tentatively titled Surviving T and Tiny. According to reports, the project would revisit past allegations of sexual misconduct made against the couple by multiple women. These allegations are not new. T.I. and Tiny have consistently denied the allegations, which are said to have occurred between 2005 and 2015 and include accusations of sexual assault, drugging, and other misconduct from multiple women. The majority of related lawsuits have been dismissed in court. The timing of this announcement was also carefully planned. T.I. is currently preparing for the release of his final album, Kill the King, which is meant to be his retirement album, his last body of work, and his victory lap. And 50 Cent is now threatening to overshadow that entire moment with a documentary about sexual assault allegations. The fact that the allegations are old does not mean a documentary cannot be devastating. A documentary examining allegations tied to him and Tiny, regardless of how those allegations have fared legally, would be a devastating piece of counter-programming. Since 50 Cent has a history of using social media to troll before completing projects, the question of whether the documentary is real is one that everyone is asking, but it is unconfirmed. In a since-deleted Instagram post, 50 Cent shared a headline suggesting the documentary is in development and used his caption to lean into the threat. No official announcement has been made, but both possibilities remain on the table, which is precisely the problem. Here's the thing about Curtis Jackson, though. The title of the documentary, Surviving T and Tiny, which purposefully echoes Surviving R, also tells volumes. The Diddy documentary was real and impactful and came after a long period of silence that people interpreted as his giving in. He has really followed through before. Kelly format. The same playbook 50 had a devastating effect on Sean Diddy Combs. This documentary is intended to evoke the same sense of accountability and exposure that those earlier projects carried. The Harris couple has been accused of a pattern of drugging, kidnapping, and sexual assault by over 30 women and one man, which they have vehemently denied. 50 Cent would be scrutinizing these accusations. A documentary series on a streaming platform that reaches millions of people is a different kind of trial, regardless of criminal convictions. 50 Cent also posted the theme song for his new star show Power Origins, taking another jab at the Harris family with the caption, "They are going to learn to leave me alone." This is the change. 50 Cent is no longer just sharing memes. He has transitioned from trolling to production. He is using his position as one of the most influential television producers to use a documentary as a weapon against a personal competitor, which completely alters the game. How did T.I. react to this? Everyone looked to him when the documentary threatened, and the question was straightforward: would he panic? Rapper T.I. is prepared to take his feud with 50 Cent to the next level if the rival wants to. The King of the South made it clear in the video that he does not feel threatened by the possibility of a documentary or any other challenge, instead framing the situation as open competition. Would he try to make peace? Would he go silent? He did none of those things. "We can go bar for bar, hit for hit, or doc for doc," T.I. remarked in a video answer. "You will only demonstrate the extent of an FNU in either case. Come on, let's play. No one is afraid of you here, boo-boo." You can learn all you need to know about T.I.'s mindset from that response. He is not giving up. He's daring 50 Cent to make the documentary, and he's saying that if it comes down to it, he's willing to make one right back. However, it's unclear if T.I. has the resources to make a counter-documentary the way 50 Cent can. 50 Cent has Netflix, stars, and a whole production apparatus that he's built over the past 10 years. Let him know one of the early hits of 2026 is part of T.I.'s retirement album, Kill the King, and is currently #1 at Urban Radio and on several charts from Instagram to Billboard. The Beef has not heard his music roll out. T.I. does not have that, but the stance he is taking is one of defiance rather than fear. If anything, the controversy has kept his name in the spotlight during one of the most significant promotional periods of his career. The feud is still going strong as T.I.'s new song, Let Him Know, featuring Pharrell Williams, hits #1 on Urban Radio this week. The song is the lead single on T.I.'s upcoming album, Kill the King, so T.I. has the #1 record. He has the press tour, he has the attention, and he is making the most of it. Meanwhile, 50 Cent hasn't released a diss track. On Instagram, he shared a phony, Foolish Indiga Award certificate with the caption, "Goes to old rappers still trying to battle rap." "I don't need to rap," he continued. I have to rap for you. That is 50 Cent informing T.I. that he will not comply with T.I.'s demands. He will not exchange bars. He plans to fight this war on a different front using his production firm and television empire. No One Told Us What We're Here For-ing Leon Thomas is a response to 50 Cent's new song, No One Told Us What We're Here For, which features R&B's hottest act, Leon Thomas. The record is actually for the next installment in his Power TV series, but the G-Unit mogul uses it as a way to lyrically respond to T.I. and his entire family. Therefore, even when 50 makes music, he makes sure it serves a dual purpose, promoting his show and taking jabs at his rival. The title of this video asks whether King Harris is pleading with 50 Cent to stop leaking T.I.'s documentary before it destroys everything, and that is worth examining. Here is what we know. King Harris went as far as anyone could go in this beef. 50 Cent is in a position of power here, pun intended. This is a song that he can play on stairs whenever he wants. He understands the power of promotion. Wearing the t-shirt, he posted the FBI documents, dropped diss tracks, and said things about 50 Cent's mother that most people would never say in public. When the documentary threat materialized, the dynamic changed. T also stated that he has been instilling good character in his family and that he doesn't enjoy his son King dropping diss tracks. With the exception of a few memes that have since been removed, 50 Cent has not yet responded appropriately. However, there are rumors that he may be producing a documentary. T himself told King to stop, drew the line at the t-shirt, and told him to relax. Although he expressed pride in his family's unity, he acknowledged that he told King to back off following the shirt incident. I'm big on treating people the way I want to be treated. The question now is whether King's actions, the t-shirt, the FBI documents, the diss tracks, and everything else contributed to 50 Cent's decision to announce the documentary. There is a case to be made that King's escalation gave 50 Cent the justification he needed to go nuclear. When you bring a man's dead mother into a beef, you open the door for that man to bring everything he has into the fight, and for 50 Cent, everything he has is not a rap verse. T.I. is promoting his album. 50 Cent is hinting at a documentary, and it has a production company, a history of documentaries, and access to every streaming platform on the planet. If this latest documentary announcement comes to pass, it could be seen as 50 Cent's nuclear option in the feud. The rapper-turned-media mogul has demonstrated that he knows how to generate massive attention through documentaries, and that is where things stand right now. Hip-hop is keeping a close eye on this one. If 50 Cent follows through, the beef will move from Instagram to Netflix or Stars, which is a completely different arena. Diss tracks fade, social media posts are removed, but a documentary lives on a streaming platform for years and gets recommended by algorithms to millions of people who might not have known about these allegations. King Harris has become quieter than he was in February. On the other hand, if 50 Cent is bluffing and he is well known for trolling, T.I. will weather the storm, release his album, and end his career on his own terms. If it is a bluff, T.I. can use the moment to argue he faced down a threat and survived it. In any case, one thing is certain. If this feud continues, it won't just stay on social media. It could move to streaming platforms, which completely changes the conversation. The Versus conflict, which never materialized, was the beginning of this beef, which has since grown into a potential long-term issue for the